But I do think there's a little bit more to it than I think people give it credit for. And if you look up this movie, it does not have a published budget. It does not have a box office. It has 25% on Rotten Tomatoes. So this movie was basically completely ignored and dismissed. And if you go into the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, it's just full of people trashing it, how much trash it is, how it doesn't live up to its potential, about how it wastes the talent of all these comedians. And I do think there's a little bit more here. Like, it's a very simple joke and it's very silly. It's basically a vehicle for Craig Robinson to say some crude stuff. Looking at this in 2025, where we're used to very sanitized entertainment, it's kind of jarring how explicit he gets, even though in 2013 this was pretty normal. Or not normal, like not every movie was like this, but you could get movies like this, right? And I actually think the movie works better than it should, in part because it's got some really talented people in it, but also because I think just the plot structure of it is really good. Like, if you just look at how the plot unfolds, there's not a lot of noise. There's some stuff like with the stoner friends, with the demons, that doesn't go terribly far. But just watching this again just 2 days ago, I was kind of reminded of how clean the story structure is, about how one thing logically leads to the next. And there's not really any big gaps in the story. There's no big question marks about why characters are doing what they're doing. And it just feels very satisfying to watch, I think, at least for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say one thing that I like actually noticed and made note of was the fact that the neighbor that was like mowing his grass, when they kind of like first introduce it, it just seems like it's just like another random thing that's happening because of the apocalypse, and it's just like dumb and it's like meant to be kind of played for laughs. But then he actually ties back into the plot and how like they sort of go about trying to distract the guards to get to the beast and stuff like that. So it actually served a narrative purpose. And I like noted that and I was like, oh, like that's not clever. Like it's not the most clever thing to do. But I was like, oh, I appreciate the movie for doing that.
Like you said, it's set up in the beginning and then it's paid off in the end, because the zombie neighbor who is really into his lawnmowers is integral to pulling off the plan, right? As such as it is. And similarly, the stoner friends are similar, where it kind of ties into this idea of hopelessness and why do anything, and everything sucks and there's no point in doing anything. But then in the end, if I remember correctly, the guards are distracted with the weed from the stoner friends, right? So it all kind of ties together. It all kind of pays off, and it's not like this is genius screenwriting. It's not like this is some great piece of art, but it works. And somebody sat down and made sure that the plot made sense, right? It takes some wild turns towards the end, but like each step makes sense and you understand why everybody does what they're doing. And I think that's like that goes a long way towards making a movie hold together and be satisfying.